Okay, welcome to part 4 on the Dust Tactics Proxy Tank Trap. You saw in the last part, I just printed these out real quick. I'm going to make them up for the manufactured tank traps to kind of make them look cohesive with the ones I'm making. I took a new brush I picked up. This is the Masters Model 233. It was $26, I think $26.95 with shipping. It came with a 0.2, a 0.3, and a 0.5. I know these are supposed to be crap brushes. I got the 0.5 running in here, and I'm dedicating this towards primers and varnishes. Why am I having a hard blanking out on that? For doing matte coats and satins and gloss coats. The needle's $4, so no big deal to replace it, and parts are really easy to get for these on TCB Global. So I ran Badger Steinerez black primer on those real quick through the brush. Not a problem. And I'm just going to do some more stuff with the Game Air. This is gunmetal from the Game Air. Going to run a little bit of medium with it. I've got the Badger Renegade Velocity. And this has got a 0.2 or 0.21 needle in it, or maybe a 0.19, somewhere around there. It's a small detail needle, which is perfect for these small items. So, as I go here, I'm just going to show you what I do. I'm just going to put a, well, that was way too much. Just going to put a drop. I might put this in another bottle. I think these golden bottles aren't that great for control. So you see in there I got a little bit of that. Also, make sure you mix your paints. I got one of the 8mm kind of tight beads in here. Got it nice and mixed. Let's put a couple drops. I put 3 drops. I'm not sure how much of that medium I got in there. You can either mix it with a paintbrush or do just a little back flush. As you can see right there. Gonna grab the needle. If I can get a hold of it. There we go. And just be very careful. It's a very delicate needle. You see there we got mixed paint. See how it looks. Perfect. And these will take 2 seconds to paint. See, there you go. All done. Grab one more real quick. This one's kind of straying away. And I'm running my compressor at maybe between 12 and 15 pounds. So it is thinned out airbrush paint. It's really nice to work with. And that's it. So I'm just going to finish these up and we'll be back and move along with part 4. Okay, we are back. I got to paint this other one. Obviously, I can't use the luxury of the airbrush because I will be overspraying metallic paint all over the model itself. So I actually did change out to one of the little 1-ounce bottles for the airbrush medium. We can see the detail there. It's kind of glaring, but let's just do a drop right there. See, 1 drop, not a problem. And then we'll shake this up a little bit again. Let's do a 1-to-1, see how that works. I have a dedicated metallic paintbrush. There we go. Nice. Grab this. Just basically slap it on. Not slap it on, but Try to get that edge nice and tidy. The stuff flows very nice. That one-to-one mix was perfect. You can see it just kind of paints itself. After we get those edges done, we're kind of free to just throw it on here, and the paint's very thin, so I don't have to worry about clogging detail. And also I noticed there's one little piece of flash right there. It kind of looks like a little bit of rebar, so I'm going to paint that out. Get a little more detail. Let's go through the model and see anything else we can grab. That should be it. So yeah, there we have it painted up, and then we'll come back and highlight these real quick, and then move on to the next part. Okay, we're back again. I just dropped some medium in the little palette again, and now we're using some war paint plate metal. I'll just kind of go between different paints and what I feel like I want to use. A little drop will do with that, and I'm switching to a cheaper brush that I just have laying around. We're going to be semi-dry brushing. Let's kind of go through here and like get the bolt tops, get that a little bit on the top. And we're later on going on an edge highlighting too. But I think I'm going to add some like some white to it to make it pop a little bit on the edges. So kind of get the idea. What I'm just trying to do is get a little more detail out of it. And I'm going to get to these, and I'll do these real quick. Then we'll be back, and then we'll go from there. All right, we're back. We're going to do a little bit of rusting on these. I know I kind of jumping around, but I want to get these all done, and so I just glue them on. They're ready to go. So I got some Secret Weapon pigments. I'm going to be doing, let's see what we got going on here. We got Rust Brown. I got my Tamiya pigment spoon. I love this thing. So we need very little. We got Terracotta. A little too much of that. And then we got some dark yellow. I want this to pop a little bit on the rust. There is such thing as yellow rust. Look it up. I've had people say that it doesn't exist. I'm basically going to make a paint out of it and then layer it. I got 3 brushes. See if I can. So I got 3 brushes laying out, so I don't. They'll mix up a little bit, but not as much as if you use the same brush. I have the Secret Weapon pigment fixer, and as usual, to be able to control it, I transferred it to a 1/2 inch or 1/2 ounce bottle, and it's going to start with a drop each, maybe 2. Let's try 3. Let's mix this up, kind of make a paint, and we'll leave the brush right there above the color so we don't have any mix-ups. These are almost the same color, but that'll be fine. There's a little bit more yellow in the terracotta, and then we got the yellow going. We'll grab one of these over here and let's start. Oops. Already making a mess. Okay. Let's start just adding a little dark rust into the bases of everything, and maybe a little bit on top. Let that dry. It should dry pretty quick. This pigment fixer is pretty, it's like a white spirit almost. But it'll hold everything down right away too. It won't come off. Let's see if we can just... Okay. Go into our next color. Gonna go back into like in between everything. Well, you can see it's already drying. This may be boring, but hey, this is something, just to show my process, how simple this could really be. And you see that small amount of pigment I used is still probably a lot of it's wasted. A little goes a long way. And also, if you have like other projects on the side, if you want to rust something up, it's kind of good. Just throw this all together. There. Then we'll switch over as that things dry up. Whoa. Yeah, this is already dry. Nice. This might need to be thicker, but let's see how it works. Now I don't like that consistency, so maybe I didn't put enough in. Let's just get a little more spoon of this. So I want this to give the texture on this last one to make everything pop. And see how it sucks everything up real good? This is going to be good. Perfect. Paper towel here on the side. So then we can go in and just add a little color. And we'll stipple this part on. I think that would look better. There we go. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. There's a little stippling. I should use these ragged brushes. It helps. Because the lighter the rust, the newer, so this wouldn't be so corroded. And we'll go into our main little model here that I did. And then we can go back and forth. I might go back with a little bit of the darker rust on top of that and see how that works out. See, we can just go back to the rust red and go on top of that one again if it's too much yellow, you think. There. So give it more variance. I'm just trying to get that brush, give like more bristles to it. There. And then we can also go back with more metal if we want to. Let's see. Grab another brush. It's a decent brush with a... We still have some of this left. And you know, some of this might wear down to the metal again. Let's go on this one a little bit. Now this one's a little too corroded, so this was kind of nice just to go back and stipple this metal back in. And there we go. So that's it for right now, and kind of show you what it looks like up close. It's got a nice rusty piece there. And then we're going to go and do some washes, and we'll end part 4 here. And see you in the next one. Sorry about that. We're back real quick. You know what? I decided I might hit him with a wash too to kind of tone him, kick him back a little bit. Just a little bit of Army Painter dark tone. It's kind of like the same as Nolan Oil, or I mean, kind of a black brown wash. And we'll take one of these brushes we just used and get it in there. Maybe add a little flow improver to it. Just give it a little more. This is some standard, just Liquitex Flow Aid. Maybe one more drop. This is a 2-to-1 mix. Because this is such a small thing, I don't want it overwhelmed. There we go. And we kind of just knock back the color a little bit. And kind of maybe a little bit of a dark glaze to bring it all together. I think the pigment fixer should already be dry. And we'll come back on here. And maybe get the outside of it a little bit too. There we go. To split it from the concrete to give it a border edge. There. There. So we will end. I like that better. Looks a little more weathered, and it's been out in the. It's not so like the rust is just fresh and nothing on top of it. You got smoke and all kinds of stuff going on out there. Throwing dust and dirt. There, I like that. So yeah, we'll end part 4 here as usual. Thank you for joining me. See you in part 5.